what a miserable looking day as I just look out my window. I don't know if we're going to be inside, outside today for, what is it, day 6 of practice? Yeah,
why?
I guess
What
day
are you?
6 of
Why? What are you
practice.
noticing?
Yeah, what is it? What is
Well,
the
well,
weather
I'm
report?
just very overcast and sort of. I mean, looks like it could pour at any moment. So I don't know again if practice is going to be able to be held outside.
I think they're calling for rain later tonight, like for storm.
Maybe we'll get away with it.
But I don't think it's supposed to rain today.
I think you're going to dodge it, Rooster. You'll be
just,
okay.
It does not look promising, I would guess, just is what I would say outside my window. But either way, ultimately, it's interesting. And I don't know what they do because I think they have season ticket holders, again, only today. And if they have to go into the bubble, I don't know how they deal with that because obviously there's not enough room in the bubble to do both. So they pretty much make a decision, I would say, like right around now to give everybody an opportunity. So maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just try and go outside and they'll do kind of one of those crisp, intense practices, kind of like they did yesterday, where they were in pads for the first time. And it was only an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes, guys.
Yeah, it was quick.
Rooster, speaking of not looking promising, is the Jamin Davis pass rusher experiment going to work? I mean, maybe it will. If Dorrance Armstrong seems to be your best edge rusher currently on the roster, maybe it could work. How do you think this is all going to play out?
Well, it hasn't looked good so far. At any point, and I watched him, I can't watch him on every snap. I can't watch him every play or anything like that. But I watched him, 3 or 4 snaps the other day. Sunday, maybe? I don't know, all these days kind of combine and gel together. And there was just no juice off the line of scrimmage. He didn't seem to, use his hands in any sort of, aggressive, shucking aside a block or the offensive tackle's hands. He didn't rip. He didn't swim. He didn't do anything that jumped out to me on any of those snaps where I specifically honed in on him. And he was going up against the back, I think it was Trent Scott, but it may have been even somebody lower than that. And listen, I'm one thing I've learned over the years is I've got to adjust my compass, right? And I've got to be more patient. And I've got to understand that immediate results don't always happen. And things take longer than they, ideally should or you ideally want. And maybe that's the case with Jamin Davis. I don't know. But we know he's got the athleticism. We know he's got closing speed. Does he have the burst to get off the line of scrimmage, off the snap? And does he have any ability to set up a tackle and use his hands to shuck that tackle aside and to get into the backfield? And so far, on any of the reps that I've seen where I've been close on or any of the reps I think that others have seen, there's no indication of that right now.
He's working with Ryan Kerrigan, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Was he that bad as a linebacker? I know he wasn't great in pass coverage. But let's just say stopping
You're talking
the
about
run.
Kerrigan?
No, I'm talking about
Jamin
Davis.
Jamin. Okay, yeah. Well, Jamin was really good at, again, the closing speed thing. When he would see something and there would be space, he could close in on it and light somebody up. We all remember the big play week 2 against Russell Wilson in Denver, forced a fumble down 21-3 along the sideline, closed, probably from one hash mark all the way to the sideline, and again created that fumble, closing in space, a thing he's very good at, and he should quite honestly be good at. And I remember in his rookie year, everybody was so disappointed in him. He made 7 or 8 pop, explosive, type plays where you say, oh, okay, they've got something here. The problem is the rest of the tool bag just doesn't seem to be there. The rest of the repertoire doesn't seem to be there. And I would just go, maybe this is unfair. I mean, we know he's made some bad mistakes off the field, inexcusable, which tells you something. I don't know what it tells you, but it tells you something, that something's not right there. But I don't think he's viewed upon as having a very high football IQ, at least by the previous staff. And we'll see about this staff. And obviously they're trying this conversion, probably because they understand it ain't going to work at linebacker either.
So they've given up on him as a linebacker. Isn't he kind of small to be a pass rusher?
Yes, because he's what, 235?
235, yeah.
Yeah, 235, somewhere in that range. I mean, he is. But because of that athleticism, you might be able to get away with it if you can learn again how to use your hands and how to get that pop off the line of scrimmage. So far, we haven't seen it yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but so far we haven't seen it yet.
What are the chances he doesn't make the final 53, according to the Rooster? The
30,
Rooster forecast.
30% higher, lower?
Coming into camp, and I talked about this during the offseason, I thought there was at least a 35% chance that he wouldn't make the roster coming into camp. Now that I've seen so far very little evidence that he's handled this transition with ease, not that I thought he would, but handled this again, right now, I want to be careful. It's a week into camp. Things can change. I mean, we could get to, the Jets game in the preseason and all of a sudden go, oh, okay, wow. Or a practice next week and we could, oh, wow, Jamin figured it out. Right now, I would say 60% chance that he doesn't make the roster in my eyes. I mean, right now, I just don't see anything right now that's saying, okay, because he doesn't play really much on special teams. If he's not great in space as a cover, read, and react guy as a linebacker, if he's not explosive off the edge and using that athleticism that he does have to, again, close speed, what is he?
Yeah, you're right.
He's limited.
Extremely.
And there's a couple of kids right now, that are pushing for time at those extra linebacker spots. And we don't even know if the team is going to take more than, say, 4 linebackers, right? We know Bobby Wagner. We know Frankie Luvu. We know the rookie
McGee.
From Temple,
Jordan
McGee. Yep. And then they probably take one more is what I would say. At least 4, maybe 5 because of special teams.
Yeah, they might keep Anthony Pittman, who they signed from Detroit.
Yep. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, Anthony Pittman almost surely, I think, will make the team because of the special teams. So, I mean, if you consider him a linebacker, which that's his listed position, they probably take 4. Then the question is, do they take 5?
Talking to Chris Russell about Commanders training camp, I'm wondering if you can tell, watching the different philosophy defensively, or is it too early to kind of notice differences? We were kind of sold that Dan Quinn's defenses in Dallas, they get interceptions. It's turnover driven. Have you noticed anything about the defensive approach?
I would say for me, and maybe I'm missing it, not a lot has jumped out
right.
in that. I mean, there's been a couple of interceptions. There's been a couple of near interceptions. Michael Davis, the veteran corner, had one of Jaden Daniels on Friday. Kyu Blue Kelly, who's like a young corner who played a little bit last year, had one of Marcus Mariota Sunday on a nice defensive audible switch that Jeremy Reeves kind of led and got everybody lined up. They were running 2-by-2 4 wide receivers on the offense, and they made it a late adjustment, and it led to an interception. There's been a couple of tip passes, but I wouldn't say anything that has jumped out in terms of like, oh, okay, like this is the Dan Quinn defense. Now, how much of that are they holding back in terms of exotic pass rush looks? Are they waiting to get the cameras out of there, which I think they are? Are they waiting to get the media out of there? In some ways, yes. Are they waiting until Jerzon Newton is able to be in team drills so that they could run more twists and stunts up the middle, more A-gap blitzes on either side of the center, that type of stuff? Yes. I think we've seen guys from the secondary shoot up and make or potentially make explosive plays in the flat area on like little shovel toss pitch handoffs. Like I saw who was it? Quan Martin the other day almost blow up Austin Eckler. Now he maybe he misses the tackle. I don't know, but he was a heat-seeking missile. Yesterday it wasn't the secondary. It was Dante Fowler that got in the hole and threw his body around. And it seems like they are being aggressive in that area, but I haven't been able to see like anything obviously aggressive in terms of creativity overall. And it's hard, guys. There's so much going on at one time, and you're trying to figure out, wait a second, who's the guard that, now they've got this guy at tackle, now they've got this. I mean, it's hard enough to track what the hell they're doing at quarterback,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rooster, is there going to be a carousel of kickers coming out to Ashburn soon? Because I know Ramiz Ahmed. He has had a shaky few days of camp hitting the crossbar in back-to-back days. Give us the latest on the kicking situation out there.
Yeah, well, it's not good. He's missed at least 4 that I've seen. It might be 5. I might have lost count. He missed 3 on, was it Friday? I believe it was Friday. Again, I apologize. All these days are kind of blending together. But I know he missed 3 in one day, and then, Casey, you just mentioned, the last. Listen, nobody should have expected this kid to be great, or nobody should have expected this kid to be really good from the start, with the exception of they were kind of hoping that he would be, because they didn't, even though you got 90 spots on the roster, and you would think you can get a second guy on there, they didn't. And he's got no NFL or very, very limited NFL experience, and it's really just as a kickoff specialist. So I don't know what the hell they're thinking. I do know this. Riley Patterson just got released. What team was he on? Was he Jacksonville? I believe it was Jacksonville.
Yeah.
If I'm Adam Peters, I would have been on the phone last night trying to get him in here for a visit. It's not good enough. It's not a. I mean, if this front office goes for, I want to be careful here because I don't want to kill the new front office, because Adam Peters, as you guys know, is a really nice dude. If this is their plan, it's a bad plan. I'll just say that.
How much do you want to see Jaden in that first preseason game against the Jets?
Well, Jason, I want to see him.
I know you want to see him for about a half.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're going to see him.
How much do I think they'll play him?
Yeah.
A series, maybe 2.
Okay.
Now, here's why I want to see him more. Not only because I want to see him and I want us to have more, more stuff to talk about and just all the stuff that matters to us, right? But against that Jets pass rush and against that Jets defense, now probably guys like Quinnen Williams are not going to be playing, but Hassan Reddick's not going to be playing. So who knows who will be out there. But I'd still like to see him against what is considered an aggressive Jets scheme and whatever they have out there as their front 7. So, but we'll probably only get him a series or 2. If I would be disappointed. I would be disappointed very much so if he does not play. He needs the work. I mean, I'm telling you, just what I see in practice every day, and I know some people want to put, bouquets around him with every throw. I don't do that, guys. I don't. The 7-on-7 stuff, look, it all looks great. I don't care about what you do versus air. I care what you do in 11-on-11s, and I got to be honest with you. There's been some great throws, great reads, great decisions, but then, I was just looking through my notes, and I mean, there are plenty of throws that he misses.
Yeah, there's and plenty of throws where he looks like a rookie.
What about those throws into the net, Rooster? Everybody's getting fired up.
Oh, wait a second. And what have you guys heard about the basketball that he likes to share with his teammates?
The basketball, yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, my goodness. If I see another video, another clip, another picture. I put up a clip yesterday, a picture just making fun of everybody, and some people thought I was being serious. I was like, oh, hey, here, it's the basketball sitting in the net watching practice. Does anybody know what this is all about? I mean, it's just so ridiculous. But we're all looking for anything positive and anything for clicks and anything for likes. I don't play that game anymore. I used to. I don't play that game anymore. I'll just be a sarcastic bastard and have everybody hate me and think I'm miserable. The bottom line is look, there's been plenty of good things with Jaden. I mean, I've seen some RPO stuff, and some takeoffs. I've seen some really good throws, slants. I've seen some passes over the middle where maybe his receiver didn't, hung him out to dry. I've seen some back corner end zone stuff that is majestic and pretty. I don't want to, make anybody think that there hasn't been good, but I wouldn't say it has been wow,
Right.
My goodness, he's been great, especially over the last couple of days as they've amped up his ones work against the ones and more of the ones in defense. Meaning the first 2 days he was kind of mostly working against 2s. The last 3 days, Friday, Monday, Sunday, and Monday, he's worked against 1s, and I think it's been uneven, in my opinion.
Rooster, we know you got to run, man. We appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us,
Thank you, fellas.
man.
Appreciate you as always.
Yep, that's Chris Russell, host of the Chris Russell Show on the Team 980. That's from 1 until 4 p.m.